shining, but the shadows starting to lengthen this autumn day with just under 12 minutes now remaining. Is that enough time for Porto to close up on Roma? And certainly took a lot of time out on that last lap when we saw that lurid moment from AS Roma. And now the gap is under 2 seconds and Porto is on the charge. Now Frank Pereira's got to keep it all together. What goes through your head? You know that the man who's chasing you is closing up. You can see the two cars on the screen now.
I think the hardest thing is when the car is actually closing up on you, because the only thing you have to do is to try to drive as well as you can, try not to do any mistake, but still be as fast as possible. And so we see him making a small mistakes. Once the car behind you is just behind you, you have to control him. And focus on not being overtaken. So braking late, but stopping the car in the middle of the corner, having good exits of corners, which is another kind of job and work, which is for me easier. But he's coming back. 1 second difference between the two cars on the last lap because Frank did a mistake. Tristan is coming back. We'll see the lap time on that last lap. On that next lap. Yeah.
And 4th, 5th, 6th, all pretty close together, only the odd second between them. They're running close now, the end of another lap here, leaving us at 10 minutes and a lap to go. 21 laps are in the book with 2/3 of the way through this second race here at Vallelunga with some magnificent action. And of course, had the two big crashes, fortunately no injuries. And we had a bit of a lock up there again as the Porto car on the charge. But the gap is coming down, down, down. It's now 1.6 seconds.
Yeah, 0.3 of a second on that lap. Porto was 0.3 quicker, and we're on board now.
On board, changing gear with the paddle shift behind the high-tech steering wheel. And you can see the leader right in his sights now, taking plenty of curb there. And all the time closing up on AS Roma. Tristan Gomendi, experienced French driver.
Very different driving style between the two drivers, but lap time pretty similar. FC Porto 0.3 quicker.
But now on screen you can see how close they are. And certainly the Roma car being hustled along. But we've got two French drivers racing for this here, Frank. You know them both. The pit stop window has now closed.
The two of them having experience in champ cars. The two of them being very experienced. Tristan Gomendi being very aggressive, able to pull out a fantastic overtaking maneuver if needed. But Frank Pereira, with his big experience, being able to manage and control the car behind him as well. And we see lots of dust into the turn 2. Yeah. We're on board again, and we can listen to the V12.
Yeah, and we can also see the telemetry there. The little green dot with the G, that shows the G forces. When he hits the brakes, you'll see that green dot go flying. But we're on one of the fastest spots. See how that goes. Big G there. The number 3 says that the gear is in. You see him pull another gear, goes up to 11,000. And we don't know when they're using the push-to-pass buttons, but we might see that tachometer go up to another 1,000 revs. There is 4th gear, 5th gear, and on board with the Olympiacos car. And now the gap.
FC Porto, the gap is closing down, and he's probably only a few tenths behind Roma now.
But always there's a problem there because of the disturbed air from behind the car in front can take some of the downforce off the front of the wing, of course.
Yeah, exactly. We saw that happening earlier on today, and we've got Roma, Porto, 0.6.
0.6 now. Two French drivers head-to-head for victory here in Vallelunga. Frank Pereira in the lead. Tristan Gomendi closing. Look at the gap now. Well, by eye, it's only 3 or 4 car lengths. Of course, it closes up under braking and then increases again as they accelerate away. 7 minutes remaining, and we've got a classic battle going on here at Vallelunga, one of the best races in the Superleague formula we've seen. And our big question is, what can Roma do about this? He's got Roma fans here who are urging him on. Officially it's 0.7 a second, but it's yo-yoing backwards and forwards, under braking, under acceleration, and looking back from the Roma car. And I get the feeling now that we should see a charge from Tristan.
Look at how close he's getting.
Eindhoven remain in third place, Olympiacos fourth, and Tottenham in fifth. Liverpool have got Galatasaray chasing them for sixth spot.
Okay, now it's a question, will Tristan Gamendi find a weak point somewhere, or find a gap to dive, a hole to dive into to make a move?
And of course he's got to put pressure on the Roma car, on Pereira, see if he can really push him into a mistake here. 24 laps in the book, and this race between these two Frenchmen is absolutely gripping here at Vallelunga.
It's good to see those two racing against each other, because they have never raced against each other. They've been in the same series in Formula 3, in Champ Cars, but they've never found each other on the track, and it's two different generations, like 2-3 year difference.
Yeah, of course.
So it's quite interesting.
Gamendi, of course, the older of the two, and he can look in his mirrors. He's going to see it absolutely full of blue and white.
Yes, indeed.
And not far behind, of course, is this Battle Eindhoven third, and they can keep their championship chances alive with a podium finish here.
And Liverpool behind Tottenham in the sixth position. He's not able to close the gap.
Look at him there, right up, and smell my gearbox oil there. Sniff my diff, as they say. And this is close, and do you think where can he make a move, Bruce? There's not many good overtaking places here.
No, for me the only place, well, not here, not in the next straight. He's having a good exit. Roma has a good exit, so not in the next few corners. The only place is in turn 4, completely opposite on the track now, but they're gonna get there very fast because it's only long straights to get there. So not there, and it's too far. He's gonna struggle to overtake him very much. It's not easy. It's supposedly the oncoming corner at the end of that straight, but he's not close enough. Frank is quite good in the first two corners, so it's not going to be easy for him to make a move.
We saw a points forecast there. Some 50 points will separate the top two if it stays like this, and of course 100 points will be available in the final round down there in Jerez, in Sherry country. So the championship will definitely not be decided here. It was just a mathematical chance it might be, but that's not going to be. And this battle continues, and Gamendi trying everything he can to get around Frank Pereira, and again he's right up the gearbox again.
They have a completely different line in there, and Frank is struggling with traction. Huh? He struggles to get out of the corners fast enough, especially the slow corners.
And the clock is ticking all the time. 3 minutes and a half at the moment between the two of them. 3 laps probably is all that is remaining, and this would indeed be a famous victory for Tristan Gamendi. It's been a while since he's won a single-seater race, and of course Frank Pereira new in this car, and he certainly impressed that team, and he is hanging on very well indeed, and driving defensively, of course, as well he might now.
And Frank not having a great exit on that lap, but he's too far ahead still, and that corner is one of the places you can overtake, but
Roma, we understand there's been a collision elsewhere, and the Galatasaray car, and there's
Olympiacos, Galatasaray,
3 cars involved.
3 cars.
Yeah, Olympiacos and Tottenham Hotspur as well, and that will bring Liverpool up the field. Let's see what happened, Bruce.
Just a simple mistake from Olympiacos, and Tottenham couldn't avoid him. That's as simple as that. And then Galatasaray made a mistake on his own as well, probably sliding. Olympiacos makes a mistake on his own.
Just stepped on the gas.
Tottenham grabs it. And then Galatasaray grabs him as well. So that's pretty unlucky. Yeah,
and it was, well, Tappi almost missed the spinning Greek machine, but didn't quite.
Yeah.
So that will change some of the order down in 4th, 5th, 6th place. But what's happening at the front of the field? Still, we've got this battle between Roma and Porto. This could, of course, bring